The Jedi didn't fall because of the Sith. They fell because they ignored the will of the Force, and the one Jedi who actually listened to it. Qui-Gon Jinn was the only Jedi of his time that truly followed the living Force. He didn't rely on dogma, tradition, or council approval. He trusted the Force itself, what it showed him in the moment. That's why he knew Anakin was the chosen one. Not because he was a prophet, he just listened to the Force. But the Jedi Council didn't believe him.
He is to be trained then?
No, he will not be trained.
No, he is the chosen one.
Now is not the time for this.
You must see it.
He is too old.
He is the chosen one. You must see it. I will train him then. I take Anakin as my Padawan learner.
The code forbids it.
They weren't listening to the Force anymore. They were listening to themselves. Their structure had become rigid, political, and fearful. And when the Force sent them a warning through Qui-Gon, they dismissed it.
The Sith have been extinct for a millennium.
I do not believe the Sith could have returned without us knowing.
Hard to see the dark side is.
Even Count Dooku, before his fall, showed more emotional intelligence than the Council.
You're a much wiser man than I, Qui-Gon Jinn.
Thanks to your teachings.
When young Qui-Gon admitted fear of failure, Dooku praised him. He didn't scold him. He didn't shame him. He told his Padawan to listen to that fear, to understand it, and to own it. That moment shaped Qui-Gon's entire Jedi path. He learned that emotion and instinct weren't weaknesses to be crushed. They were tools the Force could speak through. But that kind of wisdom didn't exist in the Jedi Order. The Council came to fear emotion. They feared attachment. And more than anything, they feared voices that challenged their control. When Qui-Gon brought Anakin before the Council, it wasn't just a request to train some normal Padawan. It was a moment of truth. The Force had spoken, and the Jedi said no. They didn't feel what Qui-Gon felt. They didn't trust what they couldn't control. In that moment, they didn't just reject Qui-Gon, they rejected the will of the Force itself. That decision sealed their fate. The Force had to act. Qui-Gon's death wasn't a random tragedy. It was a turning point. The voice of the Force had been silenced, and what replaced it was a council that remained blind. Yet even in death, Qui-Gon set events in motion. His dying wish to have Obi-Wan train Anakin.
I gave Qui-Gon my word. I will train Anakin, without the approval of the Council if I must.
Qui-Gon's defiance I sense in you. Need that you do not.
Forced the Council's hand. They wouldn't have agreed otherwise. But now tradition was locked in place. Obi-Wan was noble and loyal, but he was still a Jedi of the system. He obeyed rules. He followed structure. Anakin didn't need that. He needed a teacher who could reach him the way Dooku reached Qui-Gon. That teacher died on Naboo. Sidious didn't fear the Council. He used them. He knew they were predictable, stubborn, out of sync with the Force. But Qui-Gon Jinn was different, and Sidious recognized that threat. Qui-Gon wasn't predictable. He didn't play by the rules. He wasn't controlled by fear or dogma. He moved with the will of the Force. Had Qui-Gon lived, he might have seen through Palpatine's deception.
The Chancellor should never have brought them into this. Kill them immediately.
He might have guided Anakin differently. He might have challenged the Senate. And so, through Maul, Sidious eliminated him. Qui-Gon was removed from the board, and Sidious was free to move unchecked. So the Jedi didn't fall because they lacked power, really. They fell because they feared the Chosen One instead of trusting the Force.
Bring balance to the Force.
So the prophecy says.
A prophecy that misread could have been.
He will not let me down. He never has.
I hope right you are.
They clung to structure instead of adapting to change. Their temple was full, but their connection to the Force was fading. That wasn't the will of the Force. That was the will of the Chancellor. And when Order 66 came, the Force did not intervene. The Purge wasn't just a Sith plan. It was a natural consequence of a system that no longer served the balance. Qui-Gon wasn't a rebel. He was a servant to the Force, not the Council, not the Senate, but to the Force itself. He didn't oppose the Jedi because he craved power. He challenged them because he heard something they refused to hear. The Force was speaking, and they weren't listening. So the Force moved without them. They could have overthrown the Sith if they would have just listened to Qui-Gon. Instead, the galaxy lost the one Jedi who truly understood balance. So the consequences led the galaxy down a darker path instead. What do you think would have happened if Qui-Gon trained Anakin? Could the Jedi have been saved? Drop your takes in the comments, and if you want more lore that digs deeper into the Force, subscribe to the channel, and stay connected to the truth. May the Force be with you.